science information for the whole world. This is BSI, the Bureau of Science Information. This building houses not only men and women, but the machine, the automatic mass integer calculator, AMIC to its friends. In 2 seconds, this machine can solve a problem which would take 20 trained mathematicians 100 years. If the Institute of Technology must know at once what progress has been made in the creating of synthetic pitch blende, this machine has the answer. Here it is with its 500,000 miles of wire, its tens of thousands of vacuum tubes, resistors, transformers, condensers. The power that runs this machine would supply the city of Buffalo with electricity for 24 hours. This is an electronic brain in action, thinking. Professor Brand has been the chief of staff ever since the middle of the war years. His field is cybernetics, the field of knowledge concerning the machine's relations to man and man's to the machine. This is McKenna, social engineer, expert in the science of human relations. And this is Wainwright, electronics. Every inch of every mile of wiring in this machine spun itself out of Wainwright's brain. So here they are, the machine called AMIC and the key crew of BSI.
Hemhawk Jones.
Crusader Rabbit.
Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties. Oh, boy.
In the comic strips of television.
The case of the Siamese Twins.
Just this evening, after many, many months of research, Otto finally succeeded in developing Votane. An amazing new type of gas. A gas which, when inhaled, turns Republicans into Democrats and vice versa. As you can well imagine, the possibilities of such a discovery were tremendous, especially during an election year. Campaigning congressmen would no longer kiss babies. They could gas them instead. Politicians could sabotage their rival parties. Enemy agents might use Votane to wreck the very foundations of democracy.
Ethel Waters as
Beulah. They say everything comes to them that wait. But there's only one thing I ever got from waiting. More waiting.
Now, I was wondering, Beulah, if you could fix it with Bill so that I could depend on him in case it comes to a crisis.
Look here, Oriole. Who do you think you're kidding?
I don't understand.
Oh, yes, you do. And you're not using Bill to make a jealous play between you and that Iceman. If you can't figure out any other way to keep him hanging around, then just hang out the ice sign all day.
Hello, Beulah. Hello, Oriole.
Hello, Miss Allie.
Beulah, you don't need to bother about dinner tonight. I've just driven Donnie over to Hawthorne's. He's going to spend the night with Arthur.
Well, what about you and Mr. Harry?
He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to take me out to the Holiday Inn for dinner and dancing afterward. Just the two of us.
Miss Alice, what would you do if you had a very persistent Iceman and you just couldn't get rid of him?
I'd buy a refrigerator. Oh, I think I hear Mr. Harris.
Telenews presents the news of the week in review, produced through the combined facilities of Telenews International News Service and International News Photos. Northern Nigeria this week resounded to the drum beats and war cries of tribal warriors coming to Kaduna to dance for Queen Elizabeth of England. With her husband, the Queen witnesses what is called a durbar, a stirring gathering of the tribes. Is honored by leaping and whirling warriors who have traveled thousands of miles to perform for her. As sovereign of the civilized West receives the salute of the tribes of the Dark Continent.
Take me home to the land of the Pecos. Near that stream, let me dream 'neath the sky.
Steve, hello.
Hello, Letty.
Where'd you come from, you old desert rat?
Hello, Judge. Rode in from Old Woman Springs.
Yeah, it's Mr. Holman. He just bought some land the other side of the river. Steve Allison, Texas Ranger.
How do you do? Glad to know you, Mr. Holman. Judge, we're in trouble. The Mescaleros have ridden across the border, and they're raiding for anything they can get.
That's bad. Where'd they hit first?
Old Woman Springs. They killed Pete Loomis. You remember him, Judge.
Sure, I know him.
3 of the ranchers are outside. We're going to trail them. Thought maybe you and Jeff like to come along.
What do you mean you thought we'd like to go along? It's our territory, ain't it? Where's Jeff, Letty?
He's out in the back getting some wood.
Yeah, I'll go see if I can find him.
Give me a box of 44s, Letty.
Instant Sanka coffee. The hearty coffee you can drink as strong as you like. It still can't upset your nerves. Presents The Adventures of Hiram Holiday. Based on stories by Paul Gallico. Starring Wally Cox.
From Admiral, an exciting new game for fun, entertainment, and to guide you to a bigger and better income. Admiral presents Lines and Fines, featuring some of the greatest brains in show business.
Everybody ready now? All righty. I was in an Admiral's showroom just yesterday, and I saw a salesman standing there with his fingers caught in the closed door of an Admiral refrigerator. Now, what was he demonstrating to his prospect? Mike?
No bones in his fingers?
Oh, Mike, no. I'm sorry. You're wrong. You must forfeit. Gretchen, can you do any better?
Well, I would say he was demonstrating how to get something out of the icebox without opening the door.
No, I'm sorry. Forfeit, please, George Tobias.
Well, he just wanted to show that in case I was to get my nose caught in the door, that it was absolutely safe.
George, that's part of the correct answer. Wonderful. The salesman was demonstrating the action of the balloon gasket in Admiral's Thermidor.
Martin Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan.
Say, dear, oh dear, you just missed the call. It's the press. They want to arrange an interview.
Well, what did they want? My favorite recipe for the homemaker's page?
Probably want to ask you your name and address so they can sell you a subscription, Marty.
Yeah.
How are they making out with that Green gang? Well, thanks to those records they were foolish enough to keep, we've rounded up about 20 so far. We'll wind up with a jugful.
We'll have to get 1,000 years apiece.
Less than half. 1,000 years wouldn't be enough for them. You know, that's something worth thinking about, folks. This kind of subhuman rat that attempts to enslave the childs of our America. That's the worst kind of a traitor there is. I think it's up to each and every one of us to do our best to crush this menace before it succeeds in infiltrating into one of our greatest heritages, our children. So, good night, and I'll be looking for you next week, huh?
Exciting series of Martin, Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan on radio every Sunday afternoon over the NBC radio network.